I got the skills to pay the bills. Basic skills. It's better than no skills. Hey guys, how y'all doing out there? It's me, your boy, Malik, and I'm holding it down one more time for PinnacleStudioPro.com. Today we're getting down to the basic editing tools for Pinnacle Studio 19 Ultimate. Let's jump off into the software and show you how to get it done. Here we are in Pinnacle Studio 19 Ultimate, and basically it's time to get things cracking. Anytime you are going to edit or create a video, you need to set up your project first. So you want to go to Setup, Control Panel, and then you select Project Settings. Now under Project Settings, you're going to focus on the video standard. There are several video standards or selection that you can choose from in Pinnacle Studio, whether you're creating HD or 4K video, whether you're in the PAL standard zone or the NTSC standard zone or widescreen. There's several options on here. The main thing that you need to know is that you need to be aware of the resolution and the frame rate of the device that you're recording with, whether it's a capture device, a screen capture, whether it's a video camera, a DSLR, whatever. Know what your resolution and frame rate are. All right. If you have several clips of different frame rates and resolutions that you're using on your video, then select a video standard that you want to export your video at. All right. Also, a great option here is to just let it detect the format from the first clip that you put into the timeline. It'll automatically set it up for the correct video standard if you leave this checked. We'll click on OK. We're going to stick to the Edit tab in this tutorial. Now, looking at the interface here, you see that you have your media window, a preview window, and a timeline. And the media window houses all of the different clips or media, audio, video, images, whatever you're going to be using. And you have tabs here for the different sections that you've selected from your watch folders or from the different project bins that you create. Now there's a navigation flyout here. If you click on a navigation flyout, if you have watch folders set up, you can choose the library media and go to your watch folders that you set up and choose your media from there. If you're using project bins, you can open up any project bins that you've created in the past, or you can open up a new project bin and import whatever media you want into that. And of course, you also have your content, effects. You got all of your transitions, any collections that you've created. Everything can be selected from here. And when you select something, it will create a tab for you to go access that information. And you can also add a new tab by just simply clicking on the Add New Tab button. And then you can go back to the flyout and select a new location from there. Or you can just scroll through the media window to select the location you wish. Or you can click in here and search the view that you're in to find media. You also have the option to add ratings to media. You can sort your media. You can browse files in the Explorer. You can group your media. You can import media. All types of options here for the media window to get media into Pinnacle Studio 19 Ultimate. Now, with your preview window here, you have source and you have timeline. When you select source, then anything that you select over here in the media window will be played in the preview window. Now, if you wish to do so, you can click on timeline. When you click on timeline, wherever your playhead is at, that is what will play. Now, several ways that you can view your media in the preview window. You click on the play button here. It'll play the media. Or you can use your space bar to play and stop. You also have your go to start button. If you click on that, it'll go to the beginning of the timeline. You can also use your home button. It'll take you to the beginning of the timeline. If you go to end button, it'll take you to the end of the timeline. And you also have the end button. If you click on that, it'll take you to the end of the timeline. You also have your jump backward button. So if you click on this, it'll take you in between clips. You can also click on the page up button and it'll move you forward as well to the next split between any clips. Then you have your jump forward button, which will take you forward. Or you can also use your page down button. Then you also have your step 1 frame backward and step 1 frame forward button. So these will take you 1 frame at a time, and you can see that the playhead's barely moving because the frame is very small. Now you can also use your scroll wheel on your mouse. If you scroll down, it'll move forward frame by frame. And if you scroll up, it'll move backwards frame by frame. Now, if you want to get a better view of this, you can always stretch your timeline out. If you put your cursor up here in the preview window where the numbers are for the time, you can stretch out your timeline in the preview window so you can see things better. And you can also do that by placing your cursor down in the timeline here, and you can stretch out your timeline, or you can make it smaller. Now you can also use your plus key on your keyboard to stretch out your timeline, and use your minus key on your keyboard to bring your timeline back down. Now, since we're on the timeline, let's talk about these toolbar buttons on the timeline. The first button is your customize button. So you can customize the toolbar however you'd like by using that button. Then you have your timeline settings. Timeline settings basically take you back to the project settings, but you can change your timeline settings from here at any time. Then you have your storyboard button. It takes you between storyboard and timeline view. I'm not going to go into the storyboard view right now, but I have a tutorial on storyboarding and how to use it. So please watch that if you want to know more about creating a storyboard to help you organize your video. Then we have our audio mixer button. You click this, it opens up the audio mixer for you. If you want to know more about the audio mixer and how to do changes to the audio or the volume in Pinnacle Studio, then watch my audio or volume tutorial. Then we have our score fitter. So score fitter actually allows you to add music to your videos, royalty-free music that matches the length of the video. And then we have Smart Sound. Smart Sound is very similar to Score Fitter, lets you add music to the videos. Then you have the title button, and clicking on this will open up the title editor and allow you to create titles or words or text to go across the screen, or add images to it, all kind of good stuff. If you want to see more on creating titles, then watch my title editor tutorial. And then you have your voiceover. So if you click on voiceover, it allows you to create a voiceover track over other parts of the video. Then you have audio ducking, and audio ducking allows you to automatically drop the volume of music when someone is speaking. And if you want to see more on that, I'll be doing a audio ducking tutorial in the future. And then you have multicam. So multicam allows you to take several angles of video and sync up the audio so that they all work together. Or you can take audio and video from a camera and then the audio from an external audio recorder and sync that to the video. It's a lot of different uses for that. Then you have your mark in and mark out button. So if you only want to export a certain part of the media in a timeline, you place your playhead where you need to click on the mark in button, and that is where the video will start. It'll automatically add a mark out button to the end, and you can change that if you wish to do so. And then if you click on export, it will only export this part of the video that is in between the mark in and the mark out buttons. And then we have the clear mark in, mark out. So we can clear that there. Then if you want to take a video clip and remove part of it, put your playhead where you wish to, and you click on the split button. If you click on the split button, it will then split right where the playhead is, and now you have two separate pieces of video. Now I can click on the delete button and delete that. If I don't want to, let's say I wanted to bring it back, I can click my undo button and bring it back. And if I wanted to have them go back together again, I can click on the undo button again and bring them back together. But let's say I changed a whole lot of different things and I didn't want to click on the undo button. Well, I could just trim my video. You can trim video in several ways. First way is you can place your cursor at the end of a video clip that has been split until you see an arrow in a line. Hold your left mouse down and drag to the right, and you can trim the video either down or up, however you want to do it. And you can also click on this trim button. So if you click on trim mode, it's going to open up a trim window, and it's going to show you anything that's on the right of the playhead and in the video that you're currently on. And then you can trim this very precisely by going back 1 frame or going back 10 frames or going forward the same increments. So this is a really great way to trim your video and do it very precisely. Now the next button is the delete selected clips button. I showed you that a minute ago. Any clip that you have selected, you can click on the trash bin and it will delete it. Then you also have the snapshot button. So wherever your playhead is at, if you click on the snapshot button, it will actually create a JPEG of that. And now you can utilize this within your video as well. So you just have this picture of the cows here now. Anytime you want to create a picture, you can do that directly by using that button. And then you also have your marker button. So you can add a marker anywhere so that you can have an extra location where you can drag clips to, and it will magnetically snap right to where those markers are at any place that you put them. If you want to remove the marker, just click on it again, and then you'll see there's a little delete marker button now. So you can click on that and remove it. Now, after the trim mode button, you have your dynamic length transitions button. So basically, this is a button for being more dynamic and dragging your transitions to set the transition duration. And then you have your magnetic snapping. So this allows you to snap your videos together. So while it is selected, if you get close to another video clip, it will just snap into place. So you can unselect that if you want to be able to be precise about where you're moving things and you don't want them to snap together. Maybe you want a little space between them. And then you have your volume keyframing button. So when this is activated, when it's orange, any video clip that has audio in it you'll be able to see that there is a audio wave, but then there's this green line. You can drag this green line down to mute it. You can click on it to add keyframes. And if you want to know more about volume and volume keyframing, once again, you can watch my audio tutorial and I'll tell you more about that there. And then you have your audio scrub button. So if you want to be able to hear the audio while you're scrubbing the timeline with your playhead, then you just activate that button. And then the last button on here is your timeline mode. So there's 3 timeline modes. The first one is smart editing mode, and in smart editing mode, Pinnacle Studio tries to determine what you want to do based on where you place your clips. So if I were to move this clip around, you'll see that it splits the clips, and right now it's moving some things around, but some things it doesn't. Like here, it's not moving this over any. This clip to the right of it's just staying there. But if I put it on it, it splits it, and you get all that jazz there. So if I change this to insert mode, then when I move this clip, it's going to move things. It's going to split them as well. But if I put it on another timeline, guess what? It moves everything on that timeline too. Whereas before it wasn't doing that. And then the last mode we have is overwrite mode. So in overwrite mode, you don't got to worry about things moving unless you place it on top of something. It will overwrite it. It won't move it over to the side. It'll just overwrite it. If you put it on the same timeline, it won't move it to the right either. So this is the mode that I use mostly for my video editing. So there's several ways you can add video to the timeline. First way we'll talk about is if we're trimming video. So if I select this video here and I click on dual mode, then you can see the video that I selected in the source window and then the timeline. So now I can trim this video if I want to by moving the mark in and the mark out points. If I click this button here, it will send this video to the timeline right where the playhead is. And there you go. Another way you can add video to the timeline is by just left clicking on it and dragging it down into the timeline. You can right click on the video and then you can select send the timeline and it'll send it to the timeline where the playhead is. Or if you select a video in the media window, you'll see that there is a send or drag to timeline. If you click on that, it'll send it to the timeline as well. So last thing I'm going to talk about today is your transitions. So transitions are easy to add. You can place your cursor on the right or left corner of any video and drag, hold your mouse down and drag this out. And now what I did is I created a dissolve. So if I play, you'll see the clip before it plays, and then it'll dissolve to the next clip. Now, if I were to create a transition on the clip in front of it and left click my mouse and drag this out, then what it'll do is it'll fade to black and fade back in. Now, if you want to add different types of transitions, Pinnacle Studio 19 Ultimate has a lot of transitions. So if we go to transitions, I'm just going to click on transitions. There's a bunch of different ones on here. And say I just select one and drag it down to a video clip. So now I have a transition that I added to the beginning of this clip. And if I click on play, see the transition play. Now, if I double click on this transition and I click on transition in, because this is a transition in for this one that was created, You see that I have options here now that I can utilize to change different parameters of the transition. And if I want to, I can make the transition longer by left clicking and dragging this little peel out. And I'm going to click on OK. You see the transition got larger there. Also, I can right click on the transition and go to edit. You can change the duration of it, make it go in reverse, all kind of different things. So that's it, people. Basic Editing 101, Pinnacle Studio 19 Ultimate. All right, guys, if you like the content that I'm bringing to you, make sure you click on the thumb, the one that's pointed in the upward direction. Comments. Leave me your comments. If you ask for help, I'll try to help you. If I can't help you, I'll point you in the right direction to get you the help you need. And if you want to see content like this on a regular basis, you got to subscribe. If you don't subscribe to Pinnacle Studio Pro, then you're going to miss out on the videos and you won't get all the Pinnacle Studio love you need. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.